Good afternoon. Welcome to Small Council Podcast on Brooklyn Rebound Network. It is afternoon for everyone. Even if it's not for you, pretend it is, because I'm the king. What I say is law. It's king of the pod, Drew, your boy. I'm still your boy, even though I am king. And I still have my hand of the king of the pod over on my left hand today. And that's young Eric over here, young E-Nam.
Yeah, it's your boy, king of the South.
Well, no, that's not true, young E-Nam. You're not the king of the South. You're the hand of the king, for now at least. You've
Right.
Really been skating on some pretty thin ice lately. I don't know.
I have no idea to what you refer.
Well, anyway, we're going to talk The Queen's Justice, which was the title of last night's Game of Thrones episode, Season 7.
My baby girl kicking up.
If you're new to this show, my hand, even though, his allegiance, of course, is always to me in the real world, but
Yes.
on TV shows, on HBO, he goes for Queen Cersei.
Yes, the best and most complex character in the show. Also, currently winning.
Well, we'll get into all that, but have you gotten your I Heart Cersei tattoo yet?
It's just her face across my back. It's Lena Headey's face.
All right, it's filled in. You get some shadings, though.
Yeah, I need to work on her makeup, but the shape is there.
All right, we'll see how that progresses. Also with us in the small council today, back for the second time, my master of ships, Chris Greyjoy, in the pod.
What's up? I'm back. I made it for, I was asked back, so I'm happy about that.
Well, that's right. Well, the reason was because you did promise to get me a gift, if I recall, from last episode. Didn't you say, I'll be back with a gift for you?
Right, to prove your loyalty.
We didn't edit that part out.
We may have, but I still recall it, and I'm
I think, it's going to be extra good if we just wait one more extra good gift next time.
Okay, well, stringing it along there, kind of like Cersei stringing along Euron Greyjoy. Well, also, no Master of Coin today. Ladyfinger was, as I mentioned last time, sent out on her mission. I said live on the podcast last week that I was sending her to treat out in Casterly Rock out west. I think we determined that's in Colorado, but that was actually a ruse by me. I wanted my enemies to think that's where she was going.
Oh, yeah?
I can reveal now. She's actually going out to Highgarden to get all that money, so...
Oof.
My plan
Smart.
is, she'll go out there, she'll get the money they got out there, bring it back here to the council, to the cube, and maybe we can build those ships for you, Chris Greyjoy, and then
Sounds
you can really take my enemies down.
Sounds good. A little boat party first.
Boat party? I think we
Extra
can,
money?
I think we could definitely have money for a boat party, yeah. We got Red Solo Cups, that's on budget, so...
Yeah.
Well, that was a action-packed episode yesterday. I mean, there wasn't really much in the way of, fighting action, because really just one scene of that, which was kind of subverted, but action-packed with...
super clever, too.
But action-packed with meetups, like we like.
Yeah, a lot of personalities clashing that we've been waiting
right.
to see interact for, a really long time.
Couple one-on-ones, couple king-on-queens. Oof. I don't know where you guys want to start.
I'll start anywhere.
You want to start with that 20-minute just, banter session at the beginning?
All right, I guess we'll start where the episode began then. So, well, first of all, was the first shot of the episode Jon and Davos coming up on shore and meeting Tyrion? That was first, right?
Yeah, in a rowboat, Gendry style.
Right. Well, still no Gendry action yet.
No Gendry.
I think he's going to come. I know he's going to come because they leaked pictures of him on set, so he's coming, but not this
will
episode.
happen.
But first of all, with Davos and Tyrion, I feel like Davos shouldn't be like, fuck you, man, you murdered my... Basically, you're almost directly responsible for the death of my son.
Tyrion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the wildfire. Fuck.
I mean, it was war, it's not the same as, what
They even
Melisandre did, but...
They kind of addressed it, too, but they didn't
Yeah,
really
they mentioned Battle of
go into
Blackwater,
it.
but I thought Davos would be more salty at him, but I don't know. I guess he's just being pragmatic.
Yeah, he's an old man. It was over for him. This is his second life.
Yeah. But then, so Tyrion and Jon got their little, what's up, bastard? What's up, short bastard?
I see you, baby boy.
Yeah. And then they do a little, I don't know, was this dragon thing planned, you think? Was Dany like, all right, whichever dragon that was, I want you to go jump out at them, when they're not expecting it to show you who's boss? Or was it just flying around and then, I'm talking about?
Yeah, it'd be hard to say because she never mentions is like, I sent the dragon to scare him. Like they don't do any like side eye about it.
Well,
or
it wouldn't be really. Also, I was wondering, I couldn't really tell what dragon that was. Like, I didn't think it was the main one.
Yeah, I think it was Viserion.
So-
Well, thoughts on maybe if it was Rhaegar?
That's what I was gonna get
okay.
into
because that would be the one that's like named after Rhaegar.
which is John's father.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
little
yeah.
connection.
Yeah.
Al-
So,
Also, yeah, showrunners like clearly hammering R plus L equals J right now.
yeah, and I don't know about this. The dragons. Well, like I said, I couldn't tell which one it was. Like, they're supposed to be all different color, but I feel like the CGI and the dragons can't really do that.
Right,
well.
they're like red, green, and black, but
But
really
they're all
it's
like
just
black,
like
really.
they're all really brown.
And
Gray
they're
or brown,
so
yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
It is very fast.
And I mean, is this also foreshadowing that? I mean, the dragon. John hit the deck when that dragon came. You know. Of
Well, and
course
right
he would,
before it
but-
showed up, he like literally said, "I'm not a Stark," and then
oh, and the
whoosh.
dragon came. Okay, I didn't even make that connection. But I assume we're going to see him actually doing more stuff with the dragons later in the season.
He's for sure going to ride a dragon. It's gonna look so cool.
Do you think he's even going to do that this season, or is that like a season?
No,
8
it'll be
join.
Yeah, it'll be at the end.
Okay, the very end, last episode.
Yeah,
don't know, like,
hair
you know.
flowing. It's gonna look good.
It's going to do the fest raise thing. Also, that like little walkway that came up, I feel like that just got installed recently on Dragonstone. We didn't see this thing before. That's more CGI budget there.
Location scouting.
Or whatever, if that's a real location maybe. But well, before the Danny John meet up in the council room, or no, I guess the throne room, they cut over to the Spider and Melisandre having a little quick chat,
Mm.
and then he's like, "I thought it was your man down there. What are you doing hiding up here?"
All right. I killed a little girl, so I can't go meet him.
And she's like, "I made mistakes, you know, some of my mistakes." like killing a girl. Also, she didn't really like my plan for her last week. I outlined it for her. I was like, just pop off that necklace, do your old girl thing,
Come in disguise, yeah.
and you know, no one's gonna know. But she was like, "I'm just gonna get out of here. I'm heading to Essos."
Yup, she's going to Volantis.
Right, but then she's like, "I'll be back though. Don't worry about it."
Yeah, common trope in like fantasy fiction, like she is going to bring a foreign army from Essos
Really?
over to help them. Like at the end, that will happen.
But how is she gonna get an army?
Well, at dawn on the third day, they're going to look to the east, and there Melisandre will be. No, I don't know. Like she's really good at like telling King, just like, "Hey, this matters more than anything you got going on. Let's make this happen."
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's more red women and people in Volantis because that's where they saw that other one last season, right?
Yeah.
Or I guess she came from Volantis to Marine where they were, but well, she also says something about like, I'm gonna die in Westeros, so are you, Varys. What's that about?
Well, she can see the future, right?
I think she was just taking a jab at him. You're gonna die here.
I mean, it probably will. Like, why is he gonna leave in Westeros anyway?
Right.
Die of old age here. Not likely in this story, but
No,
even the old people don't die of old age. We'll talk about that later. But
I am super willing to just like believe that her magical ability to see the future, like she knows how it plays out for at least herself and one other character.
And she did say back in a couple of seasons back when she met Arya, she said we'll meet again. I think to Arya, so maybe just come back to meet her, or they might just forget about that. But I don't know. I feel like we're not going to see her again this season, right? She's like hitting the sideline for season 7, see you in season 8 type of thing.
Yeah, I buy that.
Yeah, I don't see. I don't think we're going to go over to Essos at all. You know, the camera's not going over there.
No. There's no time. Too much has to happen in Westeros.
Only 4 more episodes now. It's crazy.
Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the main event. That was the undercard there, little spider red woman. But now we got King in the we got long titles on Daenerys there.
That was so cute.
Well, so why don't you hit me with some long? You don't introduce me with any long titles, Lord Hand. What the hell? I was getting jealous over there watching.
This is Pod Drew. He's the king of the pod.
Oh,
but I'm not like.
That's perfect.
That's it.
You agree that's perfect, Chris Craig? I don't know about
You
this.
don't want too much, you know. You don't want to.
We're the plucky underdogs. I get to do the cute thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So the cute thing is just what Davos did.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was adorable.
It was. I agree. So 2 out of 3 say it was cute.
Okay, well, I guess I have to listen to that. I have to give Ladyfinger on the horn to break this tie, but no, I guess it moves. So, all right, so I'm just the king of the pod, and John is just the king in the north. Should I be the king in the pod? Since
The king in the pod.
Because I'm in the pod right now. That's what people are listening to this in their earphone. No, it's forcing it.
I guess either or. Because you could be king in the pod, and then when you're not in the pod, you're king of the pod.
Maybe that's how I can add at least one extra title on there. I'm the king of the pod and the king in the pod.
Okay.
No,
whatever
not
you
the
want.
breaker of chains or whatever.
Until
All
you
right.
do it.
So, what did you guys think of this whole... I mean, this was pretty long, like probably like 7-8 minute scene here, right?
Right. It did a really good job of setting up just like everything that they're going to be bartering for, with all the arguments that they're going to be having when they do eventually strike this alliance that we know that they're going to. It got all of that out. They both emptied their hand on the first round.
Well, not quite, because Davos was like unloading everything.
Davos didn't say
But-
Jon literally came back to life.
But he's
There's
going
that.
to, and then Jon's like, nah, son.
Why?
But
though?
also have a
PTSD,
conversation.
dog.
Dude, Jon has got to be... Like, I gotta give Jon some king advice over here.
Jon is bad at Jon
He's
is
like-
bad at being a king. He's good at fighting. He's
Yeah.
good at like being like
And being
the savior guy.
and what does Tyrion say later? You're good at brooding over a cliffside or whatever.
Right.
But Jon, king in the north, I got some king advice for you. Like, for example, if I don't want someone to come up on this podcast right now, I'm going to talk to Chris Greyjoy and Lord Hand beforehand, be like, let's not bring this up, or let's bring this up. You gotta have a conversation with other people before you're like on the spot here. Already you're fucking up with Sansa talking back to you in front of everyone. Now tell Davos, like, have a fucking well, you're on a ship for probably 2 weeks or whatever. They don't show it, obviously, but I don't know how long it takes them to get there. But, like, have a little pre-meeting to meeting Daenerys there. Be like,
Right.
do talk about this, bullet point, X through talking about resurrection. But that being said, why do you guys think he doesn't want to bring that up?
I'm really not sure. It could just like straight up be PTSD. He just like
I said Reek over here.
That was a big question I was still wondering about. I don't know. I think maybe it was just a trust thing. Like, maybe don't bring it up just yet. Like, let's wait. Like, let's get our room first.
people already aren't going to believe the thing that he has to say about the enemy to the north. Like,
That's
why
what
would
I
he
was going
then
with
say,
it.
it's like, oh, I also died and literally came back to life. This
That's,
thing that you know is impossible.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. If that's the only thing I could really think of for why. But yeah, I guess that makes sense. But Tyrion, you made a couple of mentions of that. You were like in the Night's Watch or whatever. He should just straight up ask him like, how did you get out of your Night's Watch vows, or what's up with that?
Right.
Maybe he didn't want to because he's like he wants this to be his ally. So maybe he didn't want to like force the issue, but he definitely was thinking about that. And then later we see Dany did like pick up on that
Mm-hmm.
and asked Tyrion like, what was that about? That he said like,
Well, we'll have to forgive them their flights of fancy.
yeah.
Yeah, that whole exchange, it didn't feel like 20 minutes, which I guess is good because it was like literally a third of the episode. It worked for me, like super effective. Like, hey, I really need you guys to help me with this huge problem that I have. And she was just acting as if she knew only the things that she knew, which characters on the show lately have not been good at doing. The internal logic doesn't always flow, but she was like very good at being like, I mean, no, I'm coming here to conquer this continent. A, I don't believe you, and B, like, why would I do that? But now she does need him because my girl beat her ass. So now she does need Jon. So there's going to be a second negotiation. There's going to be like different terms set, and it may work out like much closer to what viewers were expecting. I thought it was a really good job of like obfuscating like what is definitely going to happen, instead of just rushing into it like they have with other negotiations.
And that's a good point. You're saying that like she's acting like only what she should know, not
Right.
what the watcher knows. But like me as the watcher with this episode, I'm like getting annoyed at Dany because of that. Though I'm like, shut up, just like because Jon's right and that's
Right.
the real threat. But like she obviously doesn't know that. Like Tyrion maybe says a little bit too. Why would you're just coming in here being like, I'm not bending the knee, but I do need your help to kill these undead army. Like, it's pretty like
Right.
it's a big ask for Dany here just coming over.
Yeah, they both came to the table demanding everything, or asking and or demanding everything, and no one's made a concession yet. And then obviously Jon gets his dragon glass or whatever.
Well, Dany did say, I will ask your forgiveness for what my father did to your relatives and whatever.
Right. They made a big point of, oh yeah, these children that are now in charge of everything, they are not their fathers. So like all the family traits, especially like other than Jon, the like stark dumb adherence to like this is the capital R right thing to do. Other than Jon, like all of these characters are totally different from their fathers and the family traits that we have. I just said that.
That we know of so far. I mean, we don't know that. what we know about the Mad King is really only what people talk about, but we haven't seen it firsthand.
Totally, but like Dany
So-
like literally ended slavery in Slaver's Bay. Sansa's whole thing is that she took the lessons that she learned from Cersei, who was much better at playing the game. Cersei and Littlefinger, who were much better at playing the game than her father, and took them back up north. Jaime and Cersei are really good at winning right now, but they have not planned ahead the way that Tywin always did. Stuff like that.
They kind of made a connection, though, somewhat. Jon Snow to Ned Stark, like kind of where he mentions, nobody coming down south really has good fortune in my family.
Right.
He kind of talks about Ned Stark as his father.
Which obviously thinks
well,
he
yeah,
is.
but he's not a true Stark, but he kind of sees himself as one. I was thinking there might be some sort of metamorphosis as he's down there to more of a Targaryen, or at least like a split Stark
Right.
Targaryen type thing. But right now he's very Stark.
Totally, super well observed. He is the last character for which like the family name is a trait that you can like identify.
Yeah.
But also, why didn't he change his name to Stark when he got crowned king in the North? Like, one of the people, like the Mormonts and whoever, like wanted him to just be called Jon Stark now instead of Jon Snow.
He's too humble for that.
Back then, hosts
Yes.
didn't want me.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
They
Just
do.
too good
They
of a
do.
guy.
All right. Well, so I mean, we do think. I don't think he's gonna find out about what's going on until season 8. Even though the audience obviously knows by now, and other characters are gonna learn it this season. I think like Sam's gonna find out this season.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Or
it's
Bran
gonna be,
obviously knows.
Yeah, Bran is
Bran
probably
might
going
tell
to be
him.
the one to tell him.
Bran might tell Sansa as well. I mean, if Sansa ever wants to have a conversation with him again, that is. But we could get to that too. But yeah, I don't think he's gonna him or Dany. I don't think are gonna find out until maybe next season, or maybe the last episode of the season. I don't know. What else is happening on Dragons? Well, I guess we'll get into it. So like, Varys comes in, and he's like, "Quick sec over here. We got problems."
Pause whatever the fuck you're doing. I need to talk to you.
Yeah. And John's like, "Am I a prisoner?" And she's like,
Not yet.
"Yes, but not." Kind of, but not really. I haven't decided. But they do take a ship
You
away.
can't go, but you're not a prisoner.
Right. So then, obviously, the news was that Euron came in and wrecked house. Kind of like his namesake Chris Greyjoy is going to do for me soon when I get those ships built.
Woof.
And yeah, that's what happened there. And she's not happy about that. She wants to go. Her being Dany wants to hop on Drogon and go find his ships. And, burn
Yeah, let's
them
just
all.
burn all those ships.
But do you think her counsel was right here to advise her that that's a bad idea?
Well, of course it's a shit idea. And you know how I know that? Because it's a really fucking obviously shit idea. Shout out to 28 Days Later. Yeah, also, another podcast, this is not my observation. The show did made it super obvious right then. Just like, oh, well, you shouldn't be riding these dragons into battle, you're too important. If only there was someone around here who could ride these dragons into battle.
By the way, another podcast. There are no other Game of Thrones.
There are no other Game of
So
Thrones
we just have
podcasts.
it by hand.
Certainly
Yeah,
none that I
I
listen
Flights
to.
of Fancy.
I reported all of them. They all got deleted. So,
Okay, good.
Well done.
That's good. Was that the gift?
yes. I was gonna tell
I
you.
mean, I
later.
still want this other double secret gift you promised, but that's a good start.
I'll have to think of something else then.
All right. Well, what was I about to say? Oh, so that is an interesting issue with the Dragon Cell because like they're essentially like atomic bombs or whatever, like nuclear weapons in this world, you know.
Mhm.
But that's a good point. Like they can't be controlled that easily, so they are a good thing. But Dany, as so far, is the only one that can control one of them.
Right.
The other two, maybe she could direct them kind of, but they pretty much do their own thing for the most part, I think. So
When the fleet from Astapor or whatever
yeah, they
came
did.
to Marine,
They
like,
did burn those ships.
they were
in
all
Marine.
three in on that.
But I mean, they were pretty much doing it indiscriminately. Like, well, think about it this way: like, Dany didn't have her people out in the field fighting. Her and the dragons just all attacked the ships.
Mhm.
Well, there could have been plenty of collateral damage there if there was non-enemies there.
Oh, totally.
So, like, if it's a battle between two armies in Westeros, who's to say that the dragons are going to know that, like, at least the one she's not controlling directly by riding it, who's to say they're not just going to fire on both sides, you know?
Right. Also, for all that she's constantly saying, I mean, motherfucker, I have dragons. It is a superpower that she's super reticent to unleash. Like, she's not going to burn King's Landing to the ground, which she should. She's been trying to do it the other way because she knows, dragons, the devastation, not great.
I mean, will she learn now? Because then we see, we'll get to it, but we see later that the rest of her fleet is pretty much done for too, I think. So, but before we get there, let's talk your girl, Cersei.
My baby girl.
So, Euron comes with his gift, and that's Ilaria Sand and daughter for a little revenge time.
Yup.
He's strutting. I liked how he rode his horse into the throne room. Kind of like reminded me of Tywin back in the day. That's the only other person I noticed.
Yeah.
And then he's not giving up Yara. I guess she doesn't care about
Well,
him.
no, he needs her around to admit that, like, being cheered on by the crowd is making him super hard right now.
Yeah. And he's still talking about little Theon, which is kind of funny.
Mm.
But, so Cersei turns him down, which I'm sure you're happy about that. Doesn't turn him down, but says, like, after the war is done, you'll get what you want.
Promise that she will not honor.
Exactly. So
Yeah, that's a crazy
Euron's
promise.
got to be like, fuck this, man. Marry me now, or the ships are
Right.
out of here. But for show purposes, he's not going to do that. Fine.
His conversation with Jamie after that was one of my favorite parts of the episode.
Yeah, what did he
It's funny.
say? I couldn't even understand him completely. What was he saying? I know, I got the gist of it, but, like, what was he saying specifically? Like, something...
Asking how she likes it.
Yeah.
Finger in the bum.
Okay, that's the line I missed, maybe. But Euron doesn't get any from her, obviously.
Right.
Jamie does, which is always hard to watch now. I mean, come on, Jamie, wake the fuck up.
Is it? Like, they're in love.
They shouldn't be, though. I hate it.
No.
But before that happened, well, what gets her all worked up is getting...
Murder.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's a slow murder. So I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. I was like, is Frank and Mountain's probably going to get in here and mix it up in a bad way, but which didn't happen. I guess he's still busy tending to that septa from last season.
Mm.
Cersei's keeping her alive, she said.
Yeah, I'm glad I haven't, like, I'm in a death pool.
For Game of Thrones?
Yeah, you can only pick each character twice. I picked her in the very first week, and I've been, like, hesitating to drop her in each week.
Who?
Olenna, or Septa
The
Olenna.
septa. Oh, but you picked her in the first week?
I did. I
So
expected
you
to
have
see...
to pick who won't die?
Yeah, it's like 5 people you
Okay.
pick who do
Like
die.
Survivor
Who will die?
pool?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a reverse survival pool. Characters who will die.
Survivor in the sense that you can't repeat picks. So is that...
Right, correct.
Okay. That's
I
a weird
keep waiting
choice.
to see her die, but it's just not happening.
Well, your girl said she's purposely giving her life, so why do you think
Yeah.
she would die?
I mean, I feel like we can't not get payoff on that.
Well, yeah, maybe they'll cut to it one time, but I wouldn't expect it. I expect if we do, it's going to be her just in some, messed up state.
Yeah.
But what Cersei does do for the revenge here is pretty good. And, like, I don't really feel sorry for these characters because they did kill her daughter, who was completely innocent.
Oh, totally.
And Ilaria is just an idiot. Like, that was such a bad decision on her part to do that. And, yeah, I mean, like, Cersei used the same. I mean, that's fitting, using the same poison.
Yeah. Well, and the Sand Snakes are like Bizarro Cersei, where, like, in a super exaggerated way, they keep winning battles that are right in front of them in a way that, like, ensures that they will lose the war. The way that, like, Cersei's been going about very slowly, but also just, like, never stops winning for now. They just, like, get what they want immediately, the stupidest way possible, over and over again. And then, yeah, you get murdered in front of your mom, because that makes sense to me.
Do you think that's just going to go smoothly and she's just going to die like that?
Oh, yeah, the Dorne storyline's done.
Yeah.
They're at a
not
point
important
with
enough,
only
right?
like 4 + 8 episodes left,
Yeah.
where they have to excise plot lines.
So Cersei
Yeah.
said she's keeping Ilaria alive as well. And also, like, they're supposed to be poison people. Like, have, like, a cyanide capsule in your mouth or something. They should have committed suicide somehow before they get into this point.
Well, she knew when they got captured last episode. Kill us, kill us, kill us.
Right. But they should have already been
Yeah.
prepared for something like this. Should have the blades poisoned, whatever. But theoretically, though, Ilaria could live if, her daughter's fucked, it would seem. But let's say, like, Cersei does get overtaken. She's purposely keeping her alive, so if she does get overtaken and someone takes the castle,
Right.
that's their prisoner now, they could let her out or whatever. Like, if Dany could take the castle and
Theoretically.
take
yeah.
Ilaria out of there.
She's not gone forever, but
She
was.
probably is, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll see her again. But then, so like I said, that's what gets Cersei going. So, that's how you have to get your girl going, Lord Hand. You're prepared for this sort of thing.
I'm good with murder.
All right, well, so that happens. I think that it looks like a body double or something with this. That wasn't really Lena Headey, right?
I'm pretty sure it's a body double.
Yeah, that's
She got the clause out,
that's correct.
and the contract there. So anyway, what was the point anyway? I guess whatever.
It's HBO.
Yeah, they got a quota, but they really didn't do as much nudity and sex scenes in the past season or two, and they started to do it more this season, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. What happens then? So, wasn't there? Oh, the transition to then is that she's talking to. Oh well, first I wanted to say, Cersei's not dumb necessarily. She makes some dumb decisions from time to time, but she's certainly getting overly hubristic in my opinion.
Oh, totally.
With letting people see her and Jaime together, like the handmaids and whatever. It's really not smart, right?
Right. That's not going to go well. Yeah.
But so fine, that happened, and then she's meeting up with the Iron Banker over here. So something interesting from this I want to talk about, but just overall, what do you guys think about the Iron Bank throwing back down? Apparently, it seems with Cersei instead of Dany.
Right. It's super convenient. Obviously, it made sense. Also, she promised them like that she would like start paying them off again in 2 weeks, and then at the end of the episode, like spoiler alert, they have all the Golden High Garden now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, will they hold on to that? We'll see. We're dubious, but well, I'll talk about what I wanted to mention then.
Yeah.
Because it kind of goes with what the guy says, why they might be backing her, or Cersei brings it up about the slave trade. So this is kind of a retcon by the show because it makes sense if we didn't know anything about Bravos, the city, and it's just like, oh, the bank probably they have money all over the world. They probably had a lot of money in the slave trade, which is huge in Essos. So Dany fucked that up. That's why it's bad for them.
But they would never, yeah.
But with Bravos, and I think they did mention this on the show. It's a bigger thing in the books, but I think they did talk about it in the show. Like the city of Bravos was founded by by former slaves. They're like very anti-slave over there. So
right.
They would be on Dany's
It's
side.
literally called the Free City of Bravos.
Right. I mean, that doesn't really technically mean anything because there's a lot of places called the Free City that have slavery. It's just like, I think that means free from having a monarch.
I thought it literally meant like...
No, because like there's a bunch of cities that are
No, I
called like the
understand.
free cities, but a lot of them have slavery, but not Bravos. So.
Gotcha.
But anyway, that's why that seems like I said, like a complete retcon by the show to make something more convenient.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously it is not that way in the book.
Yeah, but if it was just the book, fine. But I'm pretty sure they did talk about it in the show as well. That's why I'm calling it a retcon. Like when Arya was in Bravos, they learned about that, I think.
Right.
I think this could be another one of those things, too, where it might not factor in so much, but it's one of those things that builds tension. Like, Cersei has this advantage, and it's going to be that much more difficult for Dany to beat her for this reason. And it's just, I don't think it's going to play in too much, but it's going to be, just a small piece.
Well, let's get to that then. So, Cersei right now is on top in this war. Dany been taking them L's like left and right since she popped over to Westeros.
Right.
So we got Tyrion's whole scheme here, and Tyrion's reminded me of like, I know you guys are football fans, of course. Like a Rob Ryan or something that keeps getting his defensive coordinator jobs, right? And he keeps getting all his jobs, but he always sucks and puts out like a poor defense. So like it's like Tyrion right now. Like he has like all the accolades. He's getting this big job, but he's fucking it up.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like, Cersei won these however many battles. 3 different
Well, to be fair,
occasions.
I'll put this one on Jaime because he's the one who had the good plan, I think.
Yeah,
with
that
this high
team
guard
won
thing, but, yeah.
Because like the other team is still focused on doing things the old way, the right way. Don't bring a foreign army onto Westeros. If you like want the people to be with you when you're ready, don't just burn King's Landing to the ground. If you want to rule Westeros, Cersei's willing to burn King's Landing to the ground while she lives there.
That's kind of what Olenna Tyrell says later. She's like, my mistake was like not enough imagination. Like I was unwilling to do anything crazy, which Cersei was willing to do. But the Casterly Rock section of this, so I called it with the sewer thing. I was like, we already knew Tyrion used to run the sewers down there. That's how they're going to get in. So I was like, all right, I called that one. But I didn't see this coming. Like, this was actually a surprise to me, what happened. I like how they did it, too. Because first of all, I was like, why is Tyrion just talking about this plan now? Like, he would have told them already. But it's for the show. It's fine. For the audience, he's like in the council room, like, telling his grand scheme. But then it's subverted by, we find out that they only have, like, a skeleton crew.
Right, where the fuck
they're
are
giving
they?
it up.
Yeah.
And then the Greyjoys come in behind and burn the ships. Now, people call it like teleporting or whatever. Like, fine with people moving around the board quickly at this point, but I hope that Euron actually split his fleet, and that was like the other half. Because even
there were literally 1,000 of them, I assume.
That would have to be. I mean, maybe they were going to say that it wasn't, and he somehow magically got all the way over there in time. But hopefully, I'm just going to say that they split the fleet, and that was a good scheme there. Burn the ships. The Unsullied are trapped there, I guess, so they have to walk back wherever they're going to go. Did like Grey Worm's. He had some good spear action, and he just pinned that dude to the wall with a javelin toss.
That was super dope.
We'll just get him in the next Olympics here if he makes it till then. So obviously Jaime's plan was to give up Casterly Rock. Does Tyrion know that they don't have gold there anyway? He might not even know that as well. Making it even worse.
I would assume that he knows. If Tywin knew, and
but Tywin didn't. I don't think told Tyrion ever. He told Cersei.
he told Cersei,
that's how
so
we
he would have
found
told
out.
enough people. I would assume Tyrion.
And Tyrion was in jail at that point, I believe.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he does know.
I kind of assume he has his ears to the streets. It's just like you take the seat of their power away.
Hopefully, I mean, like we said, he's been fucking up. But so then Jaime's like, yeah, we'll take Highgarden. Now, I guess you could argue how they take that so easily because, the Tarleys we saw flip sides like we thought they're going to. Tarley controls the Reach armies for the most part. You could say that Tarley got most of what it would be Olenna's army on his side, and it would be a quick fight. So it's probably only the Tyrell bannermen, like the Tyrell and name people, soldiers fighting.
Right.
And they got overrun quickly. I still think, like, it's not that easy to get in the castle. Yeah, but, like, they probably could have held out a siege or something. But whatever, you got to move past it, get Olenna off the table here.
Right.
And it was a good scene for her to go out on. Big fan of Diana Rigg, great actress.
Yeah, she was fucking incredible.
Yeah, she'll be missed on the show. But what do you guys think of this, her mic drop moment here at the end?
So petty, and I love it.
Yeah, it was good. It made you think, like, because you hadn't thought about the whole thing with Joffrey in a while. So I had to think back, like, okay, who does everyone think killed Joffrey? I actually, like, had to look into it a little bit.
People still deeply believe, like, everyone but Jaime deeply believes it was Tyrion.
Well, I thought
Tyrion
Jaime thought it was Tyrion as well, and he did until now, right?
Jaime wouldn't have freed him if he thought that he had killed his son. Jaime freed him because he knew that he didn't.
Well, here's the thing. Does Jaime even care about Joffrey? I don't really think he does.
Joffrey was a monster and needed to go.
Yeah.
He and Cersei both in the books, like, feel very relieved.
But then also, didn't Littlefinger kind of tell Sansa that he did it?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Littlefinger was in on this with Tyrell, but with Olenna, but I assume she didn't bring that up because she wants to take credit for it at the end here. You know?
Well, also they both did it. It was a plan hatched like between Olenna and Littlefinger. Like,
that's what I'm saying. But like
neither of them was lying.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I think you're saying that because she didn't bring that up, right?
Yeah. Well, then he must have used it, to win Sansa over, make her, kind of like him for doing that.
I did see a theory, actually. This is from the book, but it's fairly similar to what happens in the show with this plot. Someone was theorizing that Littlefinger didn't have anything to do with Joffrey's death at all, and then just use it to his advantage to like what you're saying with Sansa to get her on his side, and like so like the theory with that is like he did have the plan to get Sansa out of there during the wedding. And that's what the guy who turns into a fool that she rescued, whatever. So that was in place, but it wasn't planned to kill. He had no plan to kill Joffrey. Because if you think about it, why did Littlefinger want to kill Joffrey? He didn't have that good of a reason to.
It's super.
Joffrey actually helped him out a lot and gave him a lot, like a lordship and all this stuff. And he didn't want like a stable person on the throne. So it does. I see some merit in this thing.
Yeah, I mean, Joffrey was insane and needed to be gotten rid of. Like Littlefinger needed someone predictable, at the very least, on the throne that he could like deal with and get things from. It's super in character for him to just take credit for something that didn't happen. If it's a total mystery who did it,
which it was.
I can see that.
Yeah, but anyway, so good scene from Olenna. I like the line that was like, he's talking about how he got this idea is like what Robb Stark did to me, and I learned from my mistakes or whatever. And she was like, well, he must be a very wise man by now. But he didn't. He says he advocated for a nice, respectable death for her, just drinking the poison, and then she still had to get it in there. And she downed that poison right quick. Like she was like, "Yeah, I'm thirsty."
I'm smiling very broadly. That was a good moment. That was cute.
Yeah, I gotta go rewatch that scene, but that's a good one. And that's where the episode ended. Well, we skipped a couple things to go back to. All right. Well, I mean, I want to get into where you think this is heading for next episode. Well, first of all, did you guys watch the next week on?
Oh yeah.
So you watched it as well, Hand?
I did, but I'm not remembering the specifics. We had already gotten into
they show
discussion at my watch party.
They show the gold, right, that we're talking about that they get from Highgarden.
Right. Okay.
And they show like Bronn and Jaime coming in, like marching with the Tarleys. And then you show a shot of Drogon later, I believe Drogon. So I'm pretty certain what's going to happen is that Dany can't stay taking these L's all season.
God no.
And the Iron Banks wants their due, but I think it's going to get messed up. So I think Danny's going to come in dragon side and fry a bunch of their army up and steal the gold.
I think we're headed. I think this season probably ends with Field of Fire Redux.
Well, I think it's happening next
episode.
Based on the preview, I think. Yeah.
Fair.
And I still think they got to do stuff up north, so they got to get this part out of the way. I'm thinking.
I think for sure there's another negotiation that goes much more smoothly between not necessarily smoothly, but is more successful between Danny and John. Just like, hey, this didn't go so well the first time because I didn't need you, but now actually I lost my entire fleet and half my army is stranded, and like I do actually need your help now.
But what's he gonna? Maybe that's true, but like, what is she gonna be like? I need your help now, so what does that lead to? Like, bring me soldiers to fight from the north, and I'll give you this or that. When she could just get on the dragon and just fry them up, like.
Right. I still think she's doing it the old way, right? She's not ready to just
maybe
do
she
that.
will be now, though.
Right, eventually she will. I don't know if
she doesn't know about what
soon.
happened with the Unsullied with Castle of the Rock yet. By the end of this episode, she doesn't know that. She's already pissed about the first L.
I assume
This
she'll
is
be
number
told
2.
next time, yeah.
Oh, also, that just reminded me of something. In the preview, also, we get a line from her saying, I'm through with clever plans, or something to that effect.
Right.
So it's kind of seems to be directly referencing what, like, Olenna told her. Don't listen to these clever men, just be a dragon. So that's also, I think it's going to happen next episode.
Fair, and we're running out of time in the season for it to happen. I think events are going to move a little more slowly. Like, there's no way for us to predict the pacing of this season. It's a super truncated season, but then everything is happening just like at a lightning pace, but also is mostly conversation still. I don't know when we see an actual fight like you're talking about. I assume it's toward the end of the season as like a big set piece.
Based on the trailers, I think there's two major fights. One is this Field of Fire action, which I'm calling for next episode. If not next, I'm calling for next episode based on the next time on. Then we know there's going to be some fight up north with John and a bunch of people, probably the Hound and all them coming up. That's like the ice fight. That's up north. So that'll probably be toward the end of the season, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll even be
It would be cool if we started... I know I've been out here for now 3 weeks in a row saying that, like, this is what I want out of the TV show, just, like, people having conversations that matter. It would be cool if we started to see some swords.
Yeah, I think we'll get it.
Yeah.
There's a whole shot from the trailer, too, of, like, Jamie... Not from the... I don't think it was in the next time on, but, like, the initial trailer when the season started with Jamie, like, charging in and seeming, like, fire overhead, so that... He's probably... I don't think he's going to die, obviously, next episode, but I think something's going to happen with that.
Yeah.
That shot's going to be in.
It's about time for something to happen. I think I would guess that we're maybe 1 or 2 episodes out from what you're saying might happen.
But your girl needs to get knocked down and peg him and needs to even this back up here.
Yeah, she's going to lose. It's been so nice to have her out here. I mean, I guess... people think she's a villain, like there are no villains in the show. The villain is the Night's Kings. Go fuck yourself. It is really nice to have her just like not immediately taking L's, just like, oh yeah, I am formidable. You forgot because I'm constantly winning in a way that seems like I'm losing, but like I'm out here. It's been good not to just have a paper tiger in King's Landing.
Or a paper lion.
Fair. If we want to make horrible puns, yeah, Dany has a real opponent in Westeros, and it's not just gonna be easy, even though she has dragons.
I don't know that it's a pun, but that would be like, I'd be lying if I said Cersei wasn't a badass chick.
Oh.
That is worse, yeah.
Well, that is a pun. That's an example.
I just want to ask a quick question.
Go ahead, Chris Greyjoy.
Cersei, long hair or short hair?
I rock with both.
You gotta pick one.
I like a good season 3 long-haired Cersei, just like drunk all the time, just like being mean.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, get the short hair out of here. I don't like short hair. I mean, I'm not.
The wig is way better this week than it was the first 2 weeks of the season.
You want to like the short hair, but
I like the short hair.
The long hair is not coming back.
Right.
Also, that the one who's poisoned this episode, Tyene is like her. She's looking way better with that long hair as well, in my opinion.
I liked her a lot with the short hair, but she looked good in the long hair.
Oh, what's gonna happen with Yara?
Well, it's true. We could theorize about that. So
100%, she's going to be strapped to the prow of his ship.
Yeah, maybe that'd be cool
when he goes into battle next.
But they did keep her alive. So, and we did get a quick Theon scene where they pull him. I guess a couple of Yara's ships obviously got away, and one of them pulls Theon out of the water, and he should have just lied and said something like,
"Yeah, they figured him out."
I tried, or they threw me overboard, or like she had just said I think she did die. I couldn't tell or something, but like yeah. So why is this happening? Also, it seems like from the next time on, it seems like Theon's showing up at what I'm going to assume is Dragonstone, with the ship that he's on now. So I'll probably meet up with John and whatever. And since they left Yara alive, I'm assuming it's going to go like something like Theon's going to still try to save her or something.
Probably.
It's cool if Euron ties her to the prow of the ship, but I don't know if we're going to see any more battles like that from Euron this season anyway, though.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot of burn for somebody who didn't exist 2 seasons ago.
Right, and they already torched all Dany's fleets, both sides of it, I think, so
right.
What's he going to do right now? Okay, so Theon barely showed up, but he got a quick cameo in there. Oh, so what we were talking about last week with Jorah, I wasn't really into that, how quickly he's getting healed and how easily here.
Well, we're fucking around with time. So, like, events that are happening in the same episode as, like, last week, the events that are happening with Jorah and Sam happen in the same episode as that fight at sea, but they may have happened months apart.
That's not what I have a problem with. The problem I kind of had was just, like, it's too convenient and easy for Sam just to learn this surgery and riddle, you know?
Yeah, it made you think, like, a little too much in that scene. I don't know if anyone else was thinking this. Like, when he shook his hand, I was like, oh, did he miss, like, a little tiny spot on his hand? And now, like, Sam's
exactly.
but he's not.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think
but
so.
I definitely
way more about, like, the story got to touch on the person for the first time in 2 years.
Yeah. I think they just wanted to get it out of the way easily and to show. I mean, it's fine. They're showing Sam as like a prodigy. All right, fair enough. But
I'm super out on Sam as fat nerd fan service. Just like his whole time at the what is it called? The tower.
The Citadel.
The Citadel. His whole time at the Citadel has just been super Harry Potter's. Like everything goes right for me because I'm a boy genius. Just like fuck out of here. It's the worst plot on the show, and it's so important. I hate it.
Well, so then they don't kick him out, and they're like, "You got to do the scroll duty or whatever."
He's definitely going to learn something super valuable.
Yeah.
Because again, boy genius and everything goes right for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so tired of it, but I'm happy for Jorah. I'm really excited for him to get back into Dany's Queensguard. So
what do you think Jorah's going to actually do?
I think he's going to return to Dany and like be her advisor again.
Okay.
And then get killed.
Oh, he's definitely going to die.
Yeah.
Maybe he can give her some better battle schemes than Tyrion's been cooking up.
His return of his nipple, by the way.
Was it? You were on Nipple Watch, Chris?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's there.
That's one of your other duties
maybe
as well.
Looking better than ever. I don't know.
Wow, so that Sam is a boy genius. He really cured that nipple up.
He's like scarred up and shit. He's way more brolic than he was in the first couple seasons too.
Mm-hmm.
He was still on that.
Now.
He was still on that Downton Abbey kick earlier.
Okay, I never watched Downton Abbey, so that.
I can recommend it. It's lovely.
What's the actor's name? Ian Glenn, I believe.
Yeah.
What does he play on that show? Is he a similar type?
Just like kind of a villain. Like you just like
villain.
Yeah.
He's a villain in the Tomb Raider movie, if I recall. Oh. So maybe he'll mostly play villains. I think. I don't know.
He's not like super villain. He's just like kind of a Lannister about shit.
Maybe he'll turn villain in Game of Thrones.
Definitely not.
I don't see how it's gonna happen, but I mean,
unless Dany's the villain.
Typecast.
Well, here's how it could happen. This will never happen, but here's how it could work. He finally gets back to the Khaleesi. Now who's parking there this time? Good old Jon Snow. And Dany, I'm sure, is going to be infatuated with him, or that's going. So Jorah just snaps. He's lost it at this point. Fuck you, Snow. Give me my sword back. I'm going to run you through with this sword. I'm being the Khaleesi's husband. And then she just has to burn him alive with the dragon.
Goddamn.
This is that alt fiction here. Yeah.
I think it is set up for like when Jorah gets there, Longclaw is rightfully his. Jon feels a way about it, like decides that like he should have Longclaw because like whatever, because I do everything the right way. But then it's okay because Sam took the one from his dad, so it's fine. Jon still has a blade.
He wants a dragon glass sword probably anyway.
Well, I think that Jorah's just going to be like, no, it's not my sword. Like, it's yours now. Like, we kind of talked about that last time, I think. So I don't think it's going to be an issue. But Jorah probably die at some point. I don't know if this season. Maybe
he's for sure going to die.
He'll die saving her.
Jorah and the Hound are like my A1. Like, you guys are going to die.
Yeah, but I really do think
Cersei.
The Hound has to fight his Franken Mountain brother. So I don't think he's dying until that happens.
I don't think we're going to get that.
I really do think we are.
I hope we do. That'd be awesome.
The creators of this show now, like, I think I mentioned this already, but like they are like, it's not like George R. R. Martin shit anymore where things you don't want to happen, you want to happen, don't, it doesn't work out. Like, that's a GRRM thing, but
yeah, we said that last week too.
Benioff and Weiss thing. Yeah,
you're right.
So I talked about it already, but All right, I won't go back down that road right now. Then I think there's only one other kind of scene or set of scenes that we didn't talk about yet, which is Bran and Sansa.
Can we talk about how last week I said, like, oh, Bran's going to come back and, like, someone's going to tell him that he is the King of the North, like, obviously.
Or he's the Lord of Winterfell.
Right,
yeah.
right. And he's literally going to say, I can't do that, I'm the Three-Eyed Raven. And you guys were like, that would be stupid, no one would believe that. Those are the words he said in the episode.
You did say that, but I don't think we said that would be stupid.
You didn't say that he was going to be the most boring character ever.
Okay,
for a reunion where he's just like...
I don't know if this is boring, though. I was, like, creeped out by him, honestly.
It's super creepy. Two things here. They hired a kid actor. It didn't work out. Not everyone's Kanan Shipka.
I don't think he's a bad actor, necessarily. I mean,
it may not have worked out.
He's doing what I think he's supposed to do.
Right, and the character is living every moment all at once.
Yeah.
So, like, he wasn't all there for that conversation. That makes sense.
Nice Kieran Shipka reference, though.
Mad Men Forever.
She is a good actress. But let's get her new show, by the way.
That'd be nice.
Sansa's giving him a hug, and he's like just 100 yards there or whatever.
Yep.
And then why would he possibly choose, like, theoretically he has any memory of creeping on his sister through the Ravens or whatever, through time. Why is he bringing up this one specific? I guess because they're sitting there, and that's where that wedding took place, but still, come on, man. Like,
I mean...
bring this up right now?
The easy answer is the writers wanted him to show the gravity of the situation and just like, no, I have this magic power and it's super important that I do not just like become Lord of Winterfell. I cannot do that. What I have to do is way more important than this. And we're not going to have like a family thing because like my duty or whatever.
Yeah, and remember the worst night of your life? I saw it. I watched it.
Yeah, so it's like...
Let the boy watch.
I don't know how to do Photoshop and shit like that, but I really want to make...
Put him in the corner.
I really want to make a meme. So, the Theon face when he's forced to watch the wedding, the betting thing, whatever. And he's like crying, whatever. I want like a Bran's dead-eyed stare circled in right next to it. Someone make that for me.
Crying Jordan.
Yeah, it's basically, but it's not crying. Like Theon's the crying Jordan. Bran is just like the dead eye.
Bran is the Lance Stevenson blowing in your ear.
Yeah, basically that could be a good one. Blowing in your ear, but there's a bubble, like a word bubble that says like I saw this.
God damn it.
So I feel bad for Sansa because like I know who's coming up next to Winterfell. Arya's going to be coming up. I think we see a shot of that.
I think next episode
time on too. So, first of all, on one hand, she's got her own shit because Jon Snow was supposed to be in charge, left her in charge. She's doing a pretty good job, it would seem like. And she's got the Maester. That Maester, by the way, he lucked out of anyone. Like he's like, I got 3 of the Boltons who didn't get killed somehow. Now I got better people to serve. But
he's also like totally inept. How long was the last winter in the last 100 years? Like that, you gotta know.
Yeah, come on, man. Well, he's probably has PTSD as well. But he's the one who theoretically had to get Theon post castration and keep him alive. But then, who knows what else Ramsay experiments he had cooking up at the Dreadfort? But and then the Lord Royce is like impressed by her as well, and Littlefinger's trying to give her all the advice still, and that's when Bran came in. But so like. On one hand, Sansa's doing all right there, but now she's got to deal with little brother who's like, who's the Three-Eyed Raven. What does this mean? He can see everything. That's fucked. Now she's going to be dealing with Arya, who's a straight-up psychopath coming in. Like, this is a lot for Sansa to deal with. I feel bad for her.
Right. It's going to be brutal. You have these family reunion moments, and they seem sweet at first, but, like, no, we're not a family. Like, none of us are the same person that we were when, like, this happened. Like, before all this happened anyway. It's going to be a tearjerker, I bet.
So you're a betting man. I mean, you're betting on this death thing or whatever.
Okay.
Well, let's take bets here. Will we go 3 for 3 with Sansa hug? She gave Jon Snow a big one last season when he came in. When she came in,
check Bran.
She tried on Bran, who not great reciprocation there, but she gave it a go. Is she gonna give Arya a hug when Arya comes in? Obviously, when the last time they saw each other, they weren't on good terms.
So
ago.
rule of threes, you'd say it's a little more standoffish than that, right? Like, something has to be different the third time. We see this same thing happen. But also, like, they're sisters, and, like, they haven't seen each other in a long time, and they thought each other were dead. Sure, they're probably going to hug.
You're going voting yes on hug.
It's not the most artistic thing, but yeah.
Chris Greyjoy, what's your vote?
There's got to be a hug, a little music, because no one's seen Arya.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to say no on the hug. I'm going to bet on no.
No hug.
Let's see if you guys are right. But let's extend it. when Arya comes in, will she even look like Arya? Will she come in rocking her own face, or is she gonna
I
slide
didn't even
in?
think about that. Probably so.
But would anyone even freaking recognize her anyway? It has been years.
Yes,
Everyone thinks
Sansa would.
most people think she's dead. I guess Sansa probably would. Maybe Brienne, I guess, because she saw her. Yeah, Brienne definitely would. Podrick saw her, I guess, too. All right, so she probably. I think she might come in disguise, maybe. Who knows, though?
Probably.
I don't know. All right. Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about from the Queen's Justice?
I just want to ask really quickly, like, I'm obsessed with the character Cersei Lannister because she's the best and most interesting character in the show.
That's well documented.
Like, what are you guys, like, heavy hitters, like, who are you out here for?
I mean, Jaime just so disappointing to me because he's my favorite character from the book. I still like the actor a lot on the show, so it makes me like him even though he's not doing what I want him to.
You're a fan of Nickelodeon roller coaster woo woo?
Yeah, is that your cute name for the actor? Nicolaj. So I'm rooting for him to turn, especially when he's talking to the Queen of Thorns there, and she's like telling it like it is, like Cersei will be the death of you. You really do love her. It's obvious. Whatever. Like, wake the fuck up, man.
Right.
Get up out of here. So I'm there for that. But in terms of like taking over, I guess I'm on Team Jon Snow because starting out the show, I never would have thought that. Like, you like to call him like the capital R right guy or whatever.
Right.
But like, he is more compelling to me than he used to be for sure.
He's so important too.
And yeah, I mean, I'm rooting for him more than Daenerys or Cersei. I mean, like Cersei's great, but I'm not rooting for her.
Yeah, I'm a Jon Snow guy as well. I'm out here for Tyrion though. I don't know if it's gonna work out for him, but I feel like he's got something coming his way, and I think it might be a good thing.
I don't know, man. That Rob Ryan defense from Tyrion, I'm not feeling him anymore. Like he's disappointed. My boy Jaime got the better of him this time, so I don't know. I want to see them have a reunion though. Maybe that'll bump Tyrion back up in my eyes. We'll see. Yeah. I did like the banter with Jon Snow. This episode was good. So
yeah,
he's always good for that.
Yeah. Well, he's a little too clever by half sometimes, so we'll see. Bump him down a peg.
Fair.
All right, guys. Well, hopefully we'll be back to talk Season 7, Episode 4 next week. And I think I'm predicting some Field of Fire action. We'll see if that pans out. We'll see what the hug situation is. We'll see what my gift situation is. We'll see if I get any more titles. But I am, it is the king of the pod and in the pod, Drew, signing off here for the Small Council Podcast. Please do subscribe, if you're not, to Brooklyn Rebound Network. Just go to iTunes or whatever you use for podcasts. Type in Brooklyn Rebound Network. Hit subscribe. Gonna throw in a quick plug-in for another show we're doing now, Voices in Your Head. That's if you like improv, comedy, impersonations. It's something I'm gonna do with my boy Padnam and our great friend Aaron Rosen, a great impressionist. So Voices in Your Head. Subscribe to that too. Give that a try. And like I said, we'll hopefully be back next week to talk more of these thrones. Peace. We're out.